So I'm in week 4 of Introduction to Media Communications, which is a pretty cool class. My instructor is amazing. I haven't said that a lot about a lot of people. I think a lot of instructors are pretty decent and really good at their job. But I have to give kudos to my instructor for this class, and that is Joanna. Yeah, I'm gonna just say Joanna because I'm not even sure if I can even say people's names in here. But yeah, she's dope. And excuse the music in the background. Hopefully, when I post this to YouTube, that music doesn't kill the vibe of the video or give me a copyright claim or strike or whatever. The neighbors are having a party. So, reflected on, I think the first thing I'm supposed to do is talk about okay, so during this class, when I saw Introduction to Media Communications to me was like, I'm learning how to do media formats for different types of things, like social media, like job assignments, all these different things. And okay, so this is the worst possible time for me to film this video, but I have no more time, and it's just been chaos. So I have to do it within the atmosphere of this chaos. So bear with me. So I expected media communications to teach me a lot about Instagram, Facebook, going out on paid gigs, all these different things. I don't even really know what all that I absorbed from it, because I do have certain issues with absorbing certain information at this point in time in my life. And then the events of my life went crazy, so media communications turned out to be a bit of a blur for me. But I did take away a lot, even though it was a blur, because my teacher was so wonderful with explaining stuff and being friendly, and it just made it a more pleasant environment, even though to me, mentally, I was going through my own personal chaos. So that was great. I watched a Zoom because I couldn't make it to the first live stream. I watched a Zoom, recorded Zoom, and I immediately thought this teacher is going to be the best teacher in the world. And regardless of what I do and how the outcome is, she's got my vote for president if she ever runs, you know what I'm saying? But the class itself was difficult. It takes a lot of paying attention to detail, and I didn't expect to have to pay so much attention to detail because I'm a photographer and a filmmaker. I actually transferred from the digital cinematography course to media communications because I don't typically do a lot of huge production situations where I need to keep investing my time in digital cinematography, because I don't get to go link up with a bunch of people and just get projects together. So the fast-pacedness and the requirements of that curriculum started to get a little bit too strenuous. So I came to this class with expectations that I probably shouldn't have had, because I thought I was going to be learning different things for this class, but it was a whole nother side of that aspect, which was still great. But being that I went in with feeling like I would know how to do everything already, because I'm very versed in film and editing and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, that's besides the point. But what I would say as far as like what I should do differently in the future is probably find a quiet place to go and like really dive into the rubric ahead of time and really figure out what the class is about, then decide for myself if this is what I expect it to be, and if it isn't, focus on the things that I don't know more than the things I think I do know. And speaking for finding a quiet place, it is not quiet in here. Hopefully you guys don't hear all that. Probably you do. It's really distracting right now, so it's going to be really hard to get through this because it seems like there's always some weird distraction, and I put things off because of distractions, and then that's how this whole month for me has been, just putting things off because of distractions, because I have a hard time focusing, which is, bear with me, this is really hard because I'm trying to think, but I keep hearing the music in the background. But anyways, what's another thing? If I could go back and retake this class, I would call the teacher more. She told us we can call her for questions, we can reach out to her, we can text her, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it enough. I would have done so much better in this class if I'd done it more. And when you have somebody give you a lifeline to reach out to them, you just reach out to them. They might be able to do more than you think they can. But the thing that scares me about reaching out is that in the past, when people have told me that, when I reach out, I don't get the help that I'm seeking. And so I have this fixated thought in my head that even if I reach out, they're not going to help me, which is unfortunate. But everybody's not like that. Everybody's not going to stand you up on really successfully helping you the way you need to be helped, or trying to find a way to help you. Some people they're too busy and they just want to get through talking to you because they have too many people to deal with. So they're like, oh man, I know I told you to reach out to me, but that's what we're supposed to do, is tell you that. And so I didn't really expect you to reach out. And then you ask them and they go, well, read your rubric. Okay. The problem with the rubric is I don't understand it. So I need you to verbally tell me. And if you could do that, that would help. And they act like they don't have time. The thing about this instructor, she had time for everybody. And I know it's really hard to have that kind of time. And she did have hours. She was specific about the hours. She said, between this particular time, I'm available to you. But I didn't reach out because I was scared. And if I could go back, I would reach out a lot. Maybe I'll reach out to her when I'm out in my next class. Like, hey, I need to ask you a question. So I'm going to have to tell her to save my number. Hopefully. She says she doesn't, but, I'm going to ask her to. She probably still won't because, but I'm going to reach out to her. I'm going to ask her questions about future classes because she's so dope as a teacher that I'm sure if I reach out to her, I might get an answer that would help me even know how to reach out to my current instructor. I'm scared to do that. If I ask her and she gives me some tips on how to approach it, I might get a good answer. So, but I wish I had been able to get my thoughts in order and do the class 100% and fulfill my expectations for the class within myself. So I almost want to go retake it, but for the sake of progressing on, because I don't want to keep holding myself back, I want to just keep moving on. But because I have access to this curriculum and it's still there, what I'm gonna do is reference it from time to time to try to slowly absorb it. And even though I'm past it, doesn't mean I can't go back to it to still try to learn from it, which will be difficult because the next few classes I'm gonna still have to invest my time in that, and I'm still gonna have to deal with all the ambient background noise of life. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. This is hard. Now on to the next thing. I have a couple more assignments to do, and thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you later.